Tide is a SME account offering. At the moment, we're UK based, and we really focus on the micro segment of the SME market. What our customers primarily use open banking for today is linking their accounts with linking their transactions in the Tide account with their accounting providers, and also gaining a view of the activity in their Tide account from other third-party platforms that allow them to better understand, how their business is performing and operating. Like I think a lot of financial institutions, when the deadlines were approaching with PSD2, there was basically two things that were on everyone's mind. One is, how do we just make sure that we get to a compliant state? And two is, how do we make sure that we don't build something that will then potentially have to immediately start kind of iterating and backfilling once we kind of get compliant, because we haven't really thought about how things are developing. Ozone sort of helped us on three fronts here. One is they actually took a load of the build work off our hands by providing a crucial portion of our PSD2 compliance solution. Second, actually, they provided a huge amount of guidance on what needed to be there to really meet the open banking standard, how to think about the open banking standard, and do we want to actually be part of this as well, and how things are going down the line. And then finally, throughout the process, there are other questions around, what may it take to be compliant? Is there any other partners in the ecosystem we may want to work with or talk to in order to validate that we have high-performing APIs? So there was a direct infrastructural piece, a sort of like helping us think about the future, and actually specific advice on the standards and how things will work. For us, I think it's important from a few aspects. Again, one is, if you have poor performing APIs, actually there's a cost to that, right? Directly, because you'll be fielding inbound queries, you're going to have to explain yourself on a regular basis. There's a reputational impact if you are being reported as obviously being low on these league tables. But we are seeing it over the last year that we're really starting to see compelling third-party app use cases being built, right? Using, building off open banking as sort of a core aspect of their proposition. And frankly, people aren't going to be interested in you if your APIs are consistently down or have poor, buggy performance. So, what we don't want to end up doing is, a third-party player builds some fantastic experience that our customers want to use, and essentially they're not willing to work with Tide because, what we have built and our APIs aren't reliable enough. So that piece is very important to us also. What has been legislated today in PSD2 is not where things are going to end. It's just, one step along the path. And for that, from that point of view, you can either then be proactive about how things are going to push on and constantly be evaluating your own strategy as a company against it, or reactive and essentially ignore. And, what we find in Tide is we have businesses that are willing to, they're willing to try Tide and not go with one of the conventional banks, and also they're willing to work with newer third-party apps that may also help them run their business. So being able to interact with Ozone and being able to frankly just think about how things are going, what regulatory items may come in either as mandated or optional in the future, helps me and the rest of the team factor stuff into our own strategy and our roadmap. And it gives us a certain amount of peace of mind that, given how knowledgeable the team in Ozone is about these regs and about frankly, not just the sort of what the regulator may be saying, but also what you hear may be thought about, helps us really be sure that we're not going to miss something or caught blindsided. And that's a big benefit for us.